Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and these are the hottest Golden Age comics for the week. We're going to start with number 10. It's Planet Comics number 56 from Fiction House, 1948. It is a Joe Doolin cover, and it's a great book. It's just a cool book. Got girls in tubes. Very cool thing. Planet Comics is kind of the cross between sci-fi and good girl, and because of that it's a really great entry point for people that are just learning what golden age comics are, and it's one that's kind of like an entry drug, I find, for for golden age collecting, because so many cool covers. Generally the comics in the higher numbers, like between like in this, like I would say 40s all the way up to like the 90s within the run, have some of the best covers. Just really great classic sci-fi elements with good girl. So this is one of the prime covers, actually. This was a 1.0 that sold, and it sold for $150.50. The record for this grade was $184 back. That sold just last month, in April of 2024. And it's actually the exact same book. It's crazy. So somebody got a bit of a discount on this one. Typically, you don't see the same book resell the next month and drop by $30, but it is what it is. Somebody got a bit of a deal. I think they probably thought, oh, when they bought it for 184, that they could sell it for more. But in this case, not so much. There's 114 of these on the census, and 108 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 9 on the list is Well Known Comics, the Captain Marvel copy. This is from Fawcett, 1944. It's actually a promotional comic, so it doesn't have like a traditional cover that most comics do. It's just this red and white cover. And that's how the book is. It's a promotional comic. It was a promotional comic for Best Made and Samuel Lowe. And it was something that was given out, but at the same time, they're incredibly rare. You just don't see them that often. And this was an interesting sale because it was a 7.0, that graded copy that sold. I think it's the second highest grade for this book. And it sold for $239.39. This is the only sale for this grade. There was a 4.5 sale back in 2005, and it sold for $69 at that time. Those are the only two sales for this book. That's how rare this one is. You just don't see them. They're like ghosts. There are only 4 of them on the census, and all of them are Universal Blue Labels. Just a rare book. I thought it was a cool one. Actually, I have a copy of it. I have a copy coming to me in a future unboxing near you. So number 8 on the list is Chamber of Chills number 18. This is Harvey Comics 1953. It is a Lee Elias cover. And it's a really cool one. You got this mad barber. He's just like sort of kind of looks like a bit of zombie-like barber, and he's like slicing a guy's face, and it's just really cool pre-code horror cover. And it also features atomic bomb panels, which is another thing that collectors go after. This was a 4.0 that sold, and it sold for $566. Now, this is the only sale in this grade. So we don't have like a comparison, but the closest thing that we do have to compare it to is a 3.5 sold in March of 2024 for $462. So based on the price per point, this one should sell for around $528. So it sold a little bit higher than what you would expect for a 4.0. So good sale. There's only 55 of these on the census, and 55 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 7 on the list is March of Comics number 1. This is KK from KK Publications from 1946. It features Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This is another extremely rare comic. It was a 6.5 sale, and it sold for $730. Now, this is the only sale ever for any grade. So it's just like the only sale. So it's a record. I have no idea how much this comic is worth. It's an issue. It's the first issue, and there's only 4 on the census, and all of them are Universal Blue Labels. And this was the only sale. So this is one of those interesting ones where it was an auction, and people just bid up because they have no idea what the price is. You know, could it be like a $20 book? Who knows? There's just a really small census count, and it's one that you can't necessarily find. It's not that it's a low census count because sometimes, you know, things are low census count because nobody bothers to get them graded because there's just no value in getting them graded. That's not the case in this one, as you can see in this sale. It's just one that is really hard to find. It's a rare comic. So just an interesting one. As I said, only 4 in the census. Very cool book. Number 6 on the list is New York World's Fair from 1940. This is DC Comics 1940. It's a Jack Burnley cover. It's actually Jack Burnley's first artwork, published artwork as well, so kind of cool. But it's also the first time you get Batman, Superman, and Robin on the cover. And I think this led into World's Finest and World's Best comics. So this is kind of a major, key comic where you get the 3 main DC male superheroes on the cover and as a team. So this was a 3.0 that sold, and it was a green label. Now, the reason it was a green label is it had a married cover, and a page married. It's a married page, and a glue as well. So it's kind of like a green label, but also restored. So, like, I know it sounds weird to say also restored when it's already a green label because of married cover, but it's also restored because of the glue. So this was, and it sold for $808.01. This is actually down, believe it or not, because if you look at the Blue Label 3.0s, they usually sell for around $1,924, being the record that was set back in 2021. And typically green labels go for about half. So this is a little bit under what you would expect. This would be, you would expect it to have sold for like $950. This is $800. And just to confirm that actually the previous record for this green label 3.0 was set back in 2018 for $980. So that was much more in line with what you would expect a green label to go for versus a blue label, about half. So it's something to be aware of whenever you're trying to figure out how much does a green label go for versus the blue label. Usually it's about half. That's the easiest way to figure out the price. So this was not as rare of a book as you might think. There's 163 of these on the census, and 129 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 5 on the list is a Junior Comics number 13. This is from Fox, 1948. It is an Al Felstein cover. It features Al Felstein cover, interior art, and story. He did the whole thing. Basically, he wanted to get all the money for creating this book, so he basically did all the work. It's really classic Al Felstein work because it showcases his good girl art skills. And Junior Comics was really a ripoff of Archie Comics. Fox had a tendency of like doing that, where they would find, titles that were doing well from other publishers, and they would make their own version and make it a little bit more spicy. And that's exactly what this was. It features like a lingerie panels inside. There's always some scene within Junior or Sunny, is the other title, where the girl for some reason is either getting a shower or getting changed or walking around in lingerie. It's a thing. I don't know, but it's what collectors go after. These are very interesting books for that reason. This was a 3.5 that sold, and it sold for $825. This is the only sale in this grade, but there was a 3.0 that sold back in August of 2020 for $515. So this is, that would have been, if you do the price per point, that would have been around $600. So this is up significantly from that, about $200 more than what you would have expected for this grade. So just a very strong sale for this one. There are 26 on the census, and 25 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 4 on the list is another New York World's Fair, but this one is from 1939. It's from DC, 1939. It's a Vincent Sullivan cover. And this one, if you are familiar with my live shows, I do a show with Stephen Gentner. And Stephen Gentner went on a crusade to really investigate this book, where he discovered that this is truly the first appearance of the Sandman in comics. And it's kind of to his credit that this book, he had to fight for it a bit, where they actually now denote on the slabs, if you get a graded copy of this, that it is the first appearance of the Sandman. It also features something that's interesting, which is a blonde Superman on the cover. So a bit interesting one, where they really hadn't worked out what Superman should look like yet. Now, this was a 2.0 restored copy, and it was the steal of the week, actually, because it's a C2, C2, which is amateur and slight to moderate restoration, and it was mainly color touch that was done to it, a fairly moderate amount of color touch, and it sold for $1,250, so $1,250. Now, typically, a Blue Label in this grade sells for around $3,400, and the record was actually $3,472 in August of 2023. Now, a restored 2.0 generally sells for around $2,000 or more. The record for this book in a restored copy was set back in February of 2023 for $2,400. So this is half, literally half of what the previous record for a restored copy went for, and like a third of what the Blue Labels go for, which in these low grades is very shocking, actually. So just a very weak sale. Somebody got a steal on it, and yeah, sometimes you can find these steals. It's just somebody was very lucky on this one. There's 124 of these on the census, and 85 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 3 on the list is Batman number 8. This is from DC Comics, 1942. This is a Fred Ray and Jerry Robinson cover, and it is the first appearance of Professor Radium, and it's an Infinity cover. Now, as an Infinity cover collector, this is kind of like the grail for Infinity covers, because it is a Batman cover, and it's an early Golden Age one, so quite collectible for people like me that go for Infinity covers. This was a big sale. It was a 3.0 that sold, and it sold for $2,750, or $49.95 actually. But the previous record for this book was set back in August of 2022 for $2,395. And the book actually was on a bit of a downtrend, because the last sale, which happened in November of 2023, sold for $1,754. So it actually had been dropping, and this sale basically brought it right back up. Over $1,000 from the previous sale for this book. Big sale. There are 201 of these on the census, and 167 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 2 on the list is Batman number 59. This is from DC Comics, 1950. It is a Bob Kane, and Schwartz cover. It is the first appearance of Deadshot. Now, this is a different Deadshot than the one that appeared in the Suicide Squad movie, but it is the first Golden Age version of Deadshot. And it also features a sci-fi cover, which is unusual for Batman, and it's kind of a cool cover for that. But it also features a Joker from the future, and I think there was some talk that Joker from the future could be retconned for future uses or something like that, but I'm not sure about that. But it has these key things. I mean, Deadshot is a cool character, definitely a cool book. This was a 6.5 that sold, and it sold for $3,050, which is actually way down. The previous record for this book was set back in July of 2016 for $4,245. Now, this book has been actually going down for a while. I believe that 2016 sale was due to the movie. People were kind of speculating on Deadshot. I think he was played by Will Smith, and there was that kind of excitement around this character potentially becoming a household name, but it didn't pan out. The last sale, to just show you how much this book has been sliding, the last sale was set back in August of 2023 for $3,217. So it had actually tumbled by about $1,000 over that 7-year period. So really dropped. It's gone down now another couple $100. So it's kind of maybe stabilizing at that $3,000 price range. There are 2,042 of these on the census, and 226 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 1 on the list is Marvel Tales number 95. This is from Marvel, 1950. It is a monster eating a city, basically terrorizing a city, and just it's a classic cover. And this one was an interesting one because it was a really high grade copy that sold. This was actually the most expensive sale that happened for Golden Age comics this week on eBay. And it was a 9.4 that sold, and it was an off-white to white cover, page quality, I should say. And it sold for $7,900. And this is the second highest graded copy of this book. So 7,900. And this is way down. I mean, really, really down. So the previous record for this book was set back in August of 2018 for $15,000. I think they made a mistake, personally, of selling this book on eBay. Probably they would have gotten much better pricing if they had sold it on a Heritage or some site where you can get in those more collectors that have deeper pockets, I would say. Like eBay's, you can get some pretty big sales on eBay, but I always feel weird that they bring these big books onto eBay. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. But live and learn. I guess they lost half the value, which is pretty brutal. So yeah, there's only 50 of these on the census, and 47 of them are Universal Blue Labels. So what did you think about this list? What do you think about selling big books on eBay? Is it a good idea, bad idea? Where should they have sold this Marvel Tales 95? Was eBay the right place? Based on the sale, I would say not. But, and some of these other books, what do you think about these really rare books? Have you even heard of some of these books? I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.